What's poppin', homies? It's your favorite homegirl, Gossip Girl, and today I want to talk to you about Trevor Gernon, and that's Cash and Carter's father. Carter Gernon, he's the twin brother of Cash Gernon. Cash Gernon is the little boy that was found on the street, murdered. So we're gonna get into that, but let's talk about Trevor Gernon, his father. Why did he leave his children behind? Okay, so it says here that he said, "I have paid the most ultimate and painful price for my poor judgment, and I have to live with this devastation every single day." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All right, so a full week after 4-year-old Cash Gernon was found murdered and dumped in the middle of the street, his absentee father has finally come forward with his side of the story. Okay, the case drew media attention immediately due to the circumstances of the Texas toddler's kidnapping and subsequent murder. Cash's father, identified as Trevor Gernon, has allegedly been missing since March. He had custody of his twin sons, Cash and his brother Carter Gernon, whom he had left with his then living partner, Monica Sherrod, from whose house the boy was abducted later. Nobody knew where Trevor was, and even the twins. The mother had no idea and no clue her sons were living with his ex. And now, a week later, Trevor Gernon has responded to why he left and how he feels responsible for the horrific and devastating outcome of his actions. Okay, so Trevor has finally shed light through a video on his sister's YouTube channel on why Cash was being raised at the home of a woman with whom he was no longer in a relationship with. Trevor, he's 31 years old, explained that when he had moved to Dallas, he had moved in with an old friend, which is Monica. It is alleged that the two were in a relationship and Trevor had moved in with her on Valentine's Day, February 14th. However, Trevor reveals when he moved back to Houston after an unsuccessful job hunt, amongst other things, he decided his twins will be better off with her. So my thing is, did y'all have this conversation? Because her conversation is different from your conversation, Trevor. Her conversation, from what I read in the media outlets, was, you booked up out of there, you had some legal trouble, you booked up and left the kids behind, and she hasn't seen you since. So that doesn't seem like a conversation was talked about the kids. Okay? The only thing I wish Monica would have done, and at the time she was just looking out for the twins, I really wish she could have got social services involved to help find the kid's mother. But then sometimes, we don't think that far ahead. We just try to keep the kids safe and fed and, happy. She didn't know he was going to just disappear like that. So that's why I want to know, did they have this conversation that, I'm going to book up out of here, but the kid's going to stay behind? Because it sheds light on a total different thing if that was the case. But it seems like that wasn't the case. It seemed like he couldn't find a job the way he wanted. He was in legal trouble. So he was like, you know what? My kid's going to be better off without me. Let me just bounce real quick. And he left. When you have children, you can't just do that. Okay? You can't do that. It has to be a neutral agreement between you and the person. And from what Monica was saying, it didn't sound so. That's what I'm saying. So if he was better off without you and with her, then you should have contacted the kid's mother, because that's who they should have been with. But I also, applaud Monica Sherrod for opening her home and taking in her ex-boyfriend kids, because not everybody would have done that. He also said, I felt it was in the boys' best interest to not disrupt their routine, he said, of Cash and his brother Carter, who has been unharmed since reuniting with the boys' mother, Melinda Seagrooves. They were comfortable. They were around the other kids. And from what it appeared, Monica was a trustworthy person. This choice I made with best of intentions has resulted in a horrific situation. Well, it has. But we want to know why that boy did what he did. See, this is why there's something else. There's something else missing from this case. Why did Darren Brown do what he did? It has to be a reason, and still no motive is being said. This guy is charged with kidnapping and something else, but he's not charged with murder yet, I don't think. I have to check my notes. But if you know, then let me know in the comment section. But why is it this young man, 18 years old, why did he feel comfortable enough to come into that lady's home and do what he did? And then was going to go back for the other one. Like, something is not right. This guy was told to do this or paid to do this. Something is not right. There's a big chunk missing out of all of this. Because I just don't understand why he would do that. Okay, so initially it had been reported that Trevor fled the town following legal troubles where he was ordered by the court into rehab earlier this year in March. The court records obtained by Crime Online also show several outstanding charges against Gernon in Harris County. Nobody had heard from Trevor or seen him since. But a week after his son's murder, he is opening up on the YouTube, apologizing, asking people not to be too harsh on him. Well, I don't understand how you don't want people to be too harsh on you. Look what you left abruptly, okay? You left your children behind. You didn't get in contact, even though you had custody of the boys. You could have got in contact with their biological mother, say, hey, I'm going through something. Or even your family. Leave them with your family. Hey, I'm going through something. Can y'all come get them and take them to their mom? Something. Monica Sherrod didn't know this was going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and say that until other evidence come out that, because I really don't think she had anything to do with this. I'm not going to put that on that lady. But she took care of them the best way she could. And that's why I feel as if Miss Seagrooves shouldn't come down hard on her. Because I understand everybody's hurting, but Monica Sherrod was doing the best she could by those boys. This is Trevor's fault. And he may feel bad, yes, but he could have done things a little bit better and done it the right way. So when you ask people not to be too hard on you, I mean, you're not going to find any grace. This a boy's life is missing. He is gone. He's never coming back. And then his twin brother has to live with that, has to get told that. His mother has to go through that. Everybody is in pain here. So you can't ask people just not to be too harsh on you, because they are going to be harsh on you for a while. Also, I have to fear for my freedom, as it is the goal of some to see me go to jail rather than grieve the loss of my little boy, Trevor said in the video without disclosing the status of his legal woes. I have paid the most ultimate and painful price for my poor judgment, and I have to live with this devastation every single day, he said. I would never forgive myself. If I could, I would go back and do everything different. This is a nightmare that doesn't go away once I open my eyes in the morning. We just don't understand how this could happen to such a bright and cheerful kid. I don't understand that either, but something is not right. All right, so also addressing the boy's mother, he added, I am so sorry that I failed to keep him safe. That is my job as a dad, and I was not able to do that, and I'm sorry. He further pleaded to the public, I'm barely getting through a day that doesn't take me to a dark place, he said. I hope you all can understand how fragile we all are and how quickly things can turn upside down. I will hope that we can all cooperate and band together to make sure Cash gets the justice he deserves. Okay, so, but Trevor has garnered himself a reputation for being fickle. Johnny Flanagan, whose son gave Gernon a job at his shop until they all had a fallout. Okay, and this was told to the Daily Beast. He's one of these guys that kind of goes whichever way the wind blows, and he'll do good for several months and then do bad for several months and, just end up and just up and disappear. Well, that is a fickle person. So he don't have a good reputation about that. Cash was kidnapped from his cot in Sherrod's home at 5 a.m. on Saturday, May 15th, by an 18-year-old suspect called Darian Brown, who has been arrested and charged with kidnapping and burglary after the kidnapping was caught in the baby monitor. Cash was found murdered, laying on, I hate saying this over and over, but we already know what happened to him. And a jogger had, found that poor baby on the street. Oh my goodness. He died from multiple stab wounds. Additional charges are expected to be slammed against Brown once further forensics results arrive. My thing is this: you can't be out here doing stuff and, yes, Trevor, he had poor judgment, and if he would have thought of this the right way, Cash would still be here, but he didn't. He just up and left. Now, another update. Trevor Gernon's sister, Ashley Margot, slams the boy's mother for banning him from the funeral. Now, this is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. After forbidding slain Texas toddler Cash Gernon's carrier Monica Sherrod from attending his funeral, the child's mother, Melinda Seagroves, has now reportedly banned the boy's father, Trevor Gernon, from paying his respects. Cash was kidnapped from Sherrod's home on the morning of May 15th. Oh, this is going to be, oh my God, a mess. After it was revealed that suspect Darian Brown was an acquaintance of Sherrod and her family, the 39-year-old woman was banned from attending the funeral. I could understand that. Okay? I could understand that. They don't want her there because Darian was friends with Monica Sherrod's son, or they went to school together. So she don't want anyone that has anything to do with Monica Sherrod or Trevor. And as a mother, I get where she's coming from. I really do. I really do. But banning Trevor, do you guys think that Trevor has a right to be at the funeral? Does Trevor Gernon has a right to be at the funeral and pay his respects? How do you feel about that? So let me get back into this article. Cash's aunt, Ashley Margot, reveals her brother Trevor is being denied to attend the funeral before he turns himself in for the outstanding warrants. Okay, so Ashley is Cash's father. That's Trevor's sister. Okay, and doesn't know exactly where her brother is right now, claiming he hasn't left Texas. However, thinks Gernon going to jail might be the best thing for him to find the help that he needs for sobriety. Okay, and she told this to the Daily Beast in an exclusive interview that her brother wants to just say goodbye to his son and put him to rest. And this has just been really difficult to figure out. Now, Trevor had used Margot. Her last name is Macous. Now, I know that you pronounce that it's Margot. And if I'm not saying it correctly, excuse me, okay? I'm sorry. He had used his sister's YouTube account to share an apology video where he tried to clarify his actions and explain why he had left the twins in Sherrod's care. Okay, and I already talked to you guys about that. Now, she has over 1,000 followers on Instagram and less than 50 subscribers on YouTube. Had captioned the video, This has been the most difficult thing me and my family has ever gone through. To even think about it, or to even think about addressing the public during this time is so surreal. But Cash loss has touched so many, and there's so many questions. My brother Trevor Gernon has taken the time to write and record a statement to put some of the speculations to rest. Please listen. His voice deserves to be heard. The video saw Trevor profusely apologizing through his tears to Cash's mother, Melinda, who the other twin has been reunited with since the tragedy. The video, however, totally avoided addressing the multiple felonies that Trevor is wanted for. Do you think that he should address those questions about his felonies? Because he is in legal trouble, and people want to know a good reason for you bouncing on these kids. Ashley also told the outlet that her brother never really had a great relationship with the biological mom's side of the family, and this has not made it any better. She added, we talked to a funeral home, and they said both parents have to give consent for funeral proceedings before they can even take a child into their care. So we want to work with them to just put him to rest. But the family isn't cooperating with us at all. They're just sending nasty messages. They blame my brother. They blame my mother for not taking them instead. I told you guys it was going to get nasty. Admitting that her brother has made a mistake, Ashley, however, insisted that he has a huge heart and just needed more time to get himself together. She also added that we've just been trying to figure out how to handle this and see if he can just have some sort of agreement in place to attend the funeral, or at least be able to see Cash before he goes and turn himself in. I really don't want to give my opinion on this because this is really a touchy subject, but I do think that he should be able to say goodbye to his son. Okay, I understand the pain and the hurt that the biological mom is going through. I understand all of that, but at the end of the day, that's still his child as well. Now, he did not think and he did not handle his situation better, but he did have custody of those kids. He had custody of those kids. We cannot ignore the fact about that. I don't know what happened for him to have custody. The judge saw him fit to have custody of the boys, and he got the boys. So why did he have custody of the boys in the first place and not Melinda? Okay. Now, I'm not saying Melinda did anything, crazy or was out there, because I really don't know. But we have to look at the fact that Trevor had custody of the children. Now, he didn't make the best judgments of when he left and who he left the child in care with. It wasn't the best judgment, but he is still the kid's father, and he was awarded custody for whatever reason. So let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about, Melinda banning him from the funeral and not saying goodbye to his son as well? Do you think she's in the right, or do you think she's in the wrong? I want to know your opinion in the comment section, okay? I'm just saying, this is a whole touchy subject, and everybody is hurting. And I knew it was going to blow up the way it is blowing up now because of the situation. Now, I could understand banning Monica, but at the end of the day as well, Monica took in those kids. And I don't think she would have hurt those kids, or she would have had Darian to hurt those boys. But she took care of those boys the best way she could when the father left. Now, if she want to have a little memorial in his honor, that's on her. You can't tell her she can't, or whatever the case may be, because it happened at her house. This is a nightmare that she has to live with too. It's just touchy, man. It's just really, really touchy. It's just a touchy subject. So it says here, Ashley also claimed that Trevor had plans of moving back to Houston, adding that she was going to move from Vermont to help him taking care of the twins. She said, I know him, Ashley said. And if he was an actually, disgusting person, I didn't think that he would, I didn't think he would treat the boys, he wouldn't treat the boys well. I would not be on the phone with you right now. I wouldn't have posted that statement. I would have disassociated myself from him. But I know in his heart, and I know who he is, he's a good person. He just made some stupid choices. And that is what his sister said. That's what Ashley has said. So let me know in the comment section, guys, what do you think about all of this? This is really getting crazy. I just want to know what the motive was, because something is missing here. It's still a piece missing out of this whole thing. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. You guys have a good evening, and I will talk to you later.